What's up, y'all? Why ain't the music playing? Here we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah, we here. We here. Yeah. So Trump exposes Kamala for being oh what can we say? A race hopper, somebody who jumps and plays different ethnicities and races conveniently. Let's talk about it because this video was funny as hell. I have a few videos I'm gonna play with y'all for y'all today. We're gonna play the one with Trump and what he said, and I got some other videos to go along and support his argument and what he said about Kamala and race. Why are we talking about Kamala and race? I got my blunt wraps all right here. My bad. I'm over here picking up shit. I'm over here talking about politics, picking up blunt wraps. That's some nigga shit right there. But we talking about this because before we even get started, and I'm gonna greet everybody in a second. But before we even get started, the reason why we're talking about this is Kamala Harris leads with the race card. When it comes to dealing with black people, she says vote for me because I'm black like you. Not explicitly in those words, but how it is. When she goes to Atlanta, she had Megan Thee Stallion dance for her. You see the picture here with the hot sauce. And she tries to appeal to us based on color, not policy, because she has no policy for us. So before we even get into it, the reason why the argument and the discussion on race and Kamala is so important is because Kamala's political appeal, her political appeal to black voters is to vote for me because I'm black like you. That is her political appeal. Again, not said explicitly with words, but expressed through the actions. Hot green, hot sauce, and that, like when Hillary said hot sauce in her purse a few years ago. People think, and especially Democrats think, that they can appeal to black voters off of being black like us, and it's very insulting. We are here when it comes to politics. We are here for business. We want tangibles. We want things. And we want politics to work in our favor. We don't want the bullshit. So since Kamala is decided to not give us tangibles or talk tangibles, since she's decided to basically say, I ain't gonna do nothing for everything, just black people, no. Since she's not coming to us on a political realm and she's coming to us on a race level, we're going to respond on a race level. So make it very clear today that today's video is a response for Kamala's always trying to appeal to us based off of our culture and not on policy. But before I get there, I want to say what's up to everybody in the chat room. What's up, Quan? What's up, Rafi, Kenneth Berry, Brandon Turner? What's up? You got a new sub, brother. Appreciate that. My man Chuby's here. Isom the Great. Appreciate y'all. So we are all here. What's up, Breeze Omega, Purdy Naps, Antonio. So you said, for the record, Harris has her donate tab mentioned on my live right now. Hey, don't donate to her. If you're gonna donate to something, donate to me. $ DeJuan Brown. We doing the Lord's work over here. Hit the Cash App. You know what I mean. Hit the Cash App if you feel free. If you don't want to hit the Cash App, don't hit the Cash App, nigga. Just have fun with us. You ain't gotta. This is free content. You know. This is the free content. We got Patreon. We get a little down. We get down over on Patreon, but this free content. You ain't gotta donate, but donations at the same time are greatly appreciated. But never feel pressured. This ain't that kind of channel. All right. What's up?
Just to find it, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the?
Well, I hate to start. Let's play the video that got this whole thing started. let's play the video that is the reason why we're here talking about this, and then I'm gonna play some videos today. Then we're gonna break it all down and synthesize it, because again, I'm not here to play racial politics, but racial politics are being played with me. So since racial politics are being played with me, I'm going to respond as a Black American, and it's my right to. And I don't want to hear nobody talking that xenophobic talk and shit, none of that. As a Black American, I got to see, and I don't have no issues with it, but we see people all the time talking about, well, in my country, or in my culture, that's fine. Like y'all put y'all flags up, and we get it. But us as Black Americans, we have a culture too, and I'm proud of mine. And a lot of people, you guys are not proud of your culture, so you have an issue when people like me, who are part of our culture, defend those who use our culture for their benefit, while not returning the favor and throwing any benefits back to my culture. So please understand that I ain't xenophobic, but if you think me talking about my culture is xenophobic, that means you xenophobic and you don't like Black Americans. So I don't want to hear your bullshit projected onto me. All right? I love everybody, but at the same time, I will, and always will speak proudly of my culture without disrespecting other cultures. Now, I will crack some jokes on your culture, because why not? That's part of my culture. Hey, y'all crack jokes on us all the time. Lazy Americans and the Black people in the ghettos. So if I talk about your culture and I say some shit about your culture and that slumdog food y'all be eating in India, then hey, it just is what it is. We just having a good time. You dig what I'm saying? It doesn't come from a place of hate, anger, or nothing like that. But as a Black American, our culture is talking shit. And Kamala is saying that she's part of our culture. So if she's part of our culture, she could take these jokes. Because Black culture, when it comes to us, we sure will crack on each other, won't we? We'll talk real big shit to each other, and then we'll give other people who intrude on our culture, we'll give them a pass. Shit, not me. No. You want to be a part of the culture? Come on in here. Let's go. You're going to be a part of the culture. You ain't going to just take the parts of the culture that's good, that you like, and then go back to your slumdog culture, Kamala Harris. No. You gotta, if you're going to come in, you got to come in and get the other part of Black culture too. Shit talk, you dig? But let's go into the Trump video, and this video is hilarious, by the way. And then we'll go further into what we're talking about.
The ticket because she is a Black woman.
Well, let's go back.
I just defined it, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a Black woman?
Well, I can say no. I think it's maybe a little bit different. So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much. And she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was Black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn Black, and now she wants to be known as Black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she Black?
She is always identified as a Black woman. She went to a historically Black college.
I respect either one, but she...
I just defined it, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a Black woman?
Well, I can say no. I think it's maybe a little bit different. So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much. And she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was Black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn Black, and now she wants to be known as Black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she Black?
She is always identified as a Black woman. She went to a historically Black college.
I respect either one, but she...
I just defined it, sir. Do you believe that Vice President...
saw it. That right here. And this is why that's interesting, because a lot of y'all seen it, the different headlines. Kamala Harris, first Indian senator in California. Look, I can pull that shit up right now. Let me pull that up right now online. Let me pull that part up right now online. Let me show you this. This is what he's talking about right here. Let me see here. Let me see here. Let me see here. LA Times. Let's see if I can pull that article up. Let me see here. Where is it? Here it is. Look, here's one. Browser. The rise of the Indian American candidate. How Kamala Harris and a new generation are changing the face of politics. This is from the LA Times. The rise of the Indian American candidate. Eh? The rise of the Indian American candidate. Talking about, okay. Let me see here. That's one. Well, no, this is no. It's another one that it says Kamala's the first Indian. Here we go. History for Indian Americans too. All right. This is what's going on out here in California. So this is what Trump is talking about. And again, for all you idiots, it doesn't matter if I don't support Trump, but even if I did, it doesn't matter. We're talking about a woman who plays on Blackness, the Times of India. So you can go through down the line, and you see a lot of representation of Kamala, especially back then. Especially when you go back then. You know, the Economic Times, 2016. Kamala Harris may become the first Indian American senator. So a lot of y'all that's trying to play on that Blackness, stop it. And then when it comes to Jamaican, there are Asian Jamaicans, there are white Jamaicans, and Jamaicans have a lot of different classes. You got your coolies, you got your browns, you got your Rastas, you got all kinds of different classes of Jamaican. So just because somebody's Jamaican don't make them black like you. But let's go ahead and watch this video. This video is interesting. I'm not going to watch all 8 minutes, but I will watch a good portion of it, all right? This is a video. This video is on Kamala Harris. And thank you. One of my somebody that follows me. I want to shout his name out. Follows me on IG. He sent me this video because I forgot all about this video. I remember when it came out, but I forgot. Where is it at? Mr. Davenport follows me he follows me on IG. He sent me this, so I want to make sure. Let me see here. Let me see. One second. Okay, yeah, that's the name, Mr. Davenport. Yeah, he sent me this video, and I remember when it came out. So we gonna watch a little bit of it, and then we're gonna listen to Kamala Harris show you how Indian she is. All right, let's go.
Of our future president not liking my Indian food.
Can I just tell you something?
Yeah.
I've never made dosas.
Hi! I love that you're coming to the kitchen already. You live here.
Coming to the kitchen. That's
This is so nice. Are you stressed for making Indian food?
Oh my God, you do have to taste just. Oh my, you have no idea. This is how my mother kept all of her stuff.
This is so funny.
We're about to bake my Grams' famous monster cookies.
I don't want to suffer already. You live here.
Coming to the kitchen. That's
This is so nice. Are you stressed for making Indian food?
Oh my God, you do have to taste just. Oh my, you have no idea. This is how my mother kept all of her stuff.
This is so funny. I told my I was like bringing over the stuff from the store. He's like, obviously I put them in Taster's Choice.
But
and
this
passed them
literally
over.
was how my mother kept all of this stuff.
That's so funny.
What is that?
Do they tell each
I
other
don't
about it?
know.
guys, it's Mindy. I'm here in my kitchen, and today we are cooking, but we have a very special guest. Very special. Senator Kamala Harris.
Hi, guys.
Wait, so here's what I want to know.
Okay.
Is it respectful to call, like, I should be calling you Senator Harris, right?
No, you should not. That's not on my birth certificate.
Okay.
Call
Kamala?
me, yes, please.
Okay, because the Indian in me, I feel like my parents, my dad will watch this.
Just don't call me auntie.
Okay, I won't call you auntie.
Shit, my shit was on mute. My bad. My shit was on mute. My bad. I was on mute. I hit mute by accident. Now, black people, what? Let's see this part here.
Certificate.
Okay.
Call
Kamala?
me, yes, please.
Okay, because the Indian in me, I feel like my parents, my dad will watch this.
Just don't call me auntie.
Okay.
What? Well, who calls women of that age auntie? What? Who? Who calls women of a certain age auntie? Black people, right? So off top, she's saying, look, don't call me what the niggas call me. You can call me by my name, I ain't tripping. But please don't call me what them black dudes call me. Did y'all pick that up? Let's go.
I won't call you auntie. They'll be like, how could you call her by her first name? She's worked so hard. Okay, so what we're gonna cook today is an Indian recipe.
Yes.
Because you are Indian.
Yes.
Okay, and I don't know that everybody knows that, but I find that wherever I go and I see Indian people at the supermarket, on the street, everyone's like, you know Kamala Harris is Indian, right? It's like our thing we're so excited about to have you running for president.
Yeah.
So we're both Indian, but actually we're both South Indian.
Yes. You look like the entire one half of my family.
Yes. Play it again.
Have you running for president.
Yeah.
So we're both Indian, but actually we're both South Indian.
Yes. You look like the entire one half of my family.
Okay.
Woo! Y'all hear that? Y'all pick up on that? Look at the look. Yes, you look like the entire one half of my family. Let's play it again.
Actually, we're both South Indian.
Yes. You look like the entire one half of my family.
Okay, thank you.
You do.
I've been telling people we're related already,
Yeah.
so this is perfect. It's basically true. And so, were you raised eating South Indian food?
South Indian food. Lots of rice and yogurt, potato curry, dal, lots of dal, idli.
Yes, Italy. That's a deep cut. Okay, so what we're cooking today is two things. One of the...
She goes through different Indian cuisines. Now, mind you, black folks that are trying to fit her into blackness, understand this. Tamil culture goes back well over 1,500 years, okay? Black American culture, we started to really codify our culture, although we've been on this land a lot longer. The way our culture is expressed through the United States of America is something that we really had to go through a full reshaping in the last 400 years. So what black culture is now is not what it was 400 years ago on this land or wherever we came from. And a lot of Tamil culture had to get reshaped because of the British occupation of India. But in South India, the majority of India's population is actually in the north. South India is a much smaller percentage of their population. They have a different climate. The majority, let me put up it right here. Look at this. Let's look at this. Let's look at this map of Indian population density. No, that's topography. Let's see if I can find this population density map. So when we're talking about this is the reason why they're talking about being in the south of India, okay? When you're dealing with it, let's look at the legend on here. Where's the legend? The legend says above 2 million people per kilometer. And so you see the darker red is the more densely populated. The more pink is the more sparsely populated. South India, here's the Tamil area. They're from down here. Lighter pink. And that's a lot different than what goes on up in Mumbai and New Delhi, totally different culture down there. And on top of that, understand that Tamil, there's been a lot of racialized issues in India. And the Tamil down there in South India, they have a higher ranking in their class than the Dravidian, which is the darker version of them. So over in India, they've been dealing with these for 1,500 years. They've been dealing with color-coded style racism that got exacerbated when the British came in, and then when they got conquered by the Dutch East Indian Company. Like, how the fuck did a country get conquered by a corporation? I don't know. But I'm just talking shit. But so they have their own thing going on down here, which is a totally separate culture than what's going on in northern India. India, there's over 1 billion people. There are over 1 billion people in this piece of land right here. And there are multiple cultures, and the majority of the people live up in this northern area right here. All right? So that's the reason why they keep talking about South Indian, South Indian, South Indian. Because amongst them, like, they have a completely different culture than the North Indian. And it's a very nuanced culture. So if you as a Black American try to say she's us, you're actually disrespecting Kamala's culture. Because her mother comes from a culture that has its own thing that's separate than us. But let's keep going.
South Indian staples is dosa, which is kind of like a sourdough crepe. And then we're going to make a potato curry, which is the traditional accompaniment. So I printed out, we're doing it the old-fashioned way, which is I printed out a recipe from the internet.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, so when I told my dad that I was going to be cooking South Indian food for you, he was extremely excited. He said, I shall get the spices. But he took them all the Indian spices, and he put them in
the taster's choice jars. And this is exactly what my mother would do. So when I walked in and saw this, literally, I didn't know it was actually a thing among our people.
That's the part that I said earlier when my mic was blocked out. That's the part that they played on the preview. How she said, "This is like my mother's taster's choice jars." She's talking about how this Indian woman stores her food the exact way her mother did.
Indian thing.
It apparently is a thing.
Okay, cool. So this is all the spices we're going to use, courtesy of my dad. And then dosas take a really long time to make the batter. So what we have is this great company, this Indian company actually, makes ready to make. You can get it at the Indian store. So we're busy. It's dripping.
Okay. It's dripping. Okay. So South Indians, it's vegetarian. It's all vegetarian. So when we were growing up and we go to India, and my grandfather was a little mischievous. So my grandmother, of course, was like strictly nothing. If it had a mother, it was not getting eaten. And if my grandmother would go out of town, my grandfather would then, he'd get very mischievous and he'd say, okay, let's have French toast.
Notice she's talking about her mother and her grandmother. When she's talking about Black America, is she ever this nuanced? Talking about her mother and her grandmother. When she's talking to Black America, it's, oh yeah, because my mother was in the civil rights movement. Like we have any way of verifying that. Matter of fact, hell, oftentimes when people come to these different gatherings, Black people do is because they giving away some free food or some shit like that. You ain't really there for the cause. You there for the backpack giveaway. You know, that's usually how it is anyway. But she is talking very nuanced about her mother. And I'm playing this video for a reason. It's to show, I know most of y'all are smart, so y'all gonna get it. But I'm playing all this video for you fucking dumbasses out there who'll be like, what about Trump? Trump is wrong. This is Kamala's words.
Because of course that has eggs.
So when I would go and visit my family, obviously no meat. Even the dog would eat rice and yogurt. The dog would eat rice and yogurt. The dog would like the rice and yogurt. Very good Hindu vegetarians. But then I'd get older, cool cousins who would take me out on their motorcycles, and we would all split like a lamb burger. Because fast food, but like no beef or anything, obviously. But we would have lamb burger, and then we couldn't tell any of our grandparents about it. That's a fine shop. Right. Okay, Senator Harris, I say this with her.
See, so they're talking about cultural nuances. We as Black Americans, Black people, do we share that culture? Have you ever had a fucking lamb burger in your life? I ain't never had no goddamn lamb burger. Now, I've had some lamb chops, nigga. But niggas didn't even really grow up eating lamb chops. Like, I know my mom never made lamb chops. I didn't start having lamb chops until I got grown and started going to them fancy restaurants I be going to. Oh yeah, let me get some lamb chops to go along with the with the seafood platter or whatever. You know, niggas like, you know, some of you Nation of Islam niggas eat lamb, but do y'all eat lamb burger? I'm not Nation of Islam. I don't know. I do know people Nation of Islam. A lot of them, and they do lamb. But Black American, we'll fuck with it. But lamb burger, the fuck out of here. Oh yeah, the pre-direct super chat. DW says, remember Minnie's brother pretended to be black to get into school and get resources so they can use their skin tone as a phenotype? Yep, I remember that. Her brother pretended to be black. Yep, to get resources. Yep. So, off top, do we see a common shared culture? Now, mind you, when I talk about music, y'all notice when I talk about my music history, my hip-hop history, do y'all notice I'm using the same qualifying metrics? Lingo, food, style of dress, what the music played, the food in the house. Those are all cultural markers. Those are all cultural markers. Let's look at the definition of the word cultural marker. This is a word that we use in anthropology all the time. A cultural marker is a symbol, behavior, or characteristic that represents and distinguishes one culture from another, okay? This is science, okay? This is the soft sciences. What is a cultural marker? Let's go a little deeper. Let me go. I'll do it. Let me see if I can find a. Let's see here. Culture markers as identity symbols. Let's look at this. Let me see. No, that's not one. I'm looking for a .edu website. Well, let's just go with this one here. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here. I didn't even see the little box over there. Right here. According to a provided resource, culture markers are aspects of a culture that create a sense of belonging and identity. They are indicators present within the behavior of a person that signify the presence of a larger cultural values. Cultural markers can take the form of objects, photos, or other items that serve an important role in one's culture, ethnic, family, or regional identity. They are used to signify meeting places, burial grounds, ceremonial sites, personal totems, to honor someone's cultural markers, to honor someone. Cultural markers define and represent communities, identities, and shared knowledge. That's what a cultural marker is. So in this cultural marker of food, look at the difference in this, all right? She's talking about some fucking lamb burgers. Niggas don't eat no goddamn lamb burger. Let's identify how she's talking about with the food. Let's keep going.
Respect, you're kind of a show-off. It's like, meanwhile, it's taking me 20 minutes to do this much of ginger. Okay, what can't she do? You got my vote. So your mom worked, and my mom worked, but my mom also.
Your mother was a doctor.
Well, it's just interesting thing about Indian women of a certain generation is you had to do both, right? Like my mom would wake up at 5 in the morning before she went to the hospital to see patients, and she would cook food for the whole week.
Oh yeah, mommy did that too.
And so some food that was cooked, dinner food was cooked at 6 a.m. And then she would leave, and then so all of our food was cooked, and we of course didn't understand. We're like, we want to go to McDonald's, but there is this a 4-course Indian meal for us, even if she wasn't there to eat it with us. And it was that kind of a thing that was completely normal when you're the children of professional immigrants.
Listen, this is how it was because we would often come home from school before our mother would come home from work. And then there was always fresh baked cookies.
No.
Or always.
Black people. Fresh baked cookies?
Always.
Oh my gosh.
So all of that stuff, like everything was from scratch. And this is why maybe I've
Every
become,
day?
hopefully not a snob about food.
Someone who can cut up onions like that. Like we're on a
but I
cooking
take it
show.
very seriously.
Yeah. Listen, this is controversial. I put peas and cashews in mine. Yay
I
or nay?
noticed that. That was, you know, I mean,
Okay, all right. Your silence was very damning.
Yeah.
I knew.
You see how there was a cultural thing? They talk about putting peas. Kamala understood the cultural nuance. Let's go into cultural. What's the definition of cultural nuance? Cultural nuances refer to subtle differences and unwritten rules that exist within a particular culture. These nuances can greatly impact how messages are perceived and understood, making them crucial to comprehend for anyone aiming to achieve true fluency. This one here is in English. But you see what I mean by cultural nuances? Those unwritten rules, certain things within a particular culture. What we're observing right here is a cultural nuance difference right here. Let's look at this difference in cultural nuance between the two.
Someone who can cut up onions like that. Like we're on a
but I take
cooking
it
show.
very seriously.
Yeah. Listen, this is controversial. I put peas and cashews in mine. Yay or
I
nay?
noticed that. That was, you know, I mean.
You see how Kamala, you see how that little unwritten, that's like when black people say, do you put sugar on your grits? Black people, that was their version of sugar on grits. We tend to be split down the middle. I personally put sugar on my grits. I put sugar and pepper on my grits. But a lot of people, they think putting sugar on grits is nasty. So that was a sugar on grits moment with black folks. But this is talking about some fucking peas and some goddamn food that 99.99999999999% of black Americans never heard of. Look, let me tell you something. One of my best friends on earth is Indian. From India, not from India, Indian. His parents are both from South India. And they talk like this, and he was raised in America, but his parents talk like this. I ain't never heard none of this shit. Like even my Indian homeboy, when we kick it, motherfucker, we going to goddamn Cheesecake Factory. We going to the motherfucking Outback Steakhouse. We wasn't going to no Curry Lab food kitchen. So one of my closest friends on earth is Indian, and I don't know none of this shit. And I've been over their family house because they were so Americanized. And like whenever I came over, his mom would fry up some fish or some shit. So coming from somebody who has a very, very close friend that's Indian, I ain't never heard none of this shit.
Okay, all right. Your silence was very damning. Yeah. I knew what you wanted to do.
No, but you know what? I want to try it. Go for it.
No, because I don't want to suffer the consequences of our future president not liking my Indian food. So why don't I just play it safe?
Okay, put a couple in.
I saw this stupid ass. Somebody said in the chat said Jesse cream and wheat. Cause cream and wheat and grits are different, motherfucker. That's why. God damn, them is two different grains, cream of wheat and grits. No, I like the grit. I like the grain of grits. I just like sugar on it. Mind your fucking business.
Put a couple. Can I just tell you something?
Yeah.
I've never made dosas.
Okay, but you're really good about critiquing them. Great. This is going to be great for me. All right, so let's get to the cooking part of it. I always use too much oil. I'm often surprised when I make things from scratch.
Right.
This is why I needed a U.S. Senator to witness me do it.
You are doing such a good job. How old were your parents when they came over?
My parents were, I think, almost maybe late 20s, like 28, 29, 30.
Yeah. See, my mother came when she was 19.
See, black Americans, have we ever had the conversation, how old were you when your parents came over? Is in chat room, has that ever come up in any conversation in your life? How old were your parents? I've never even heard that question asked. That was my first time ever even hearing that question asked. I'm 43 years old. Have you ever heard, well, how old? I've never heard that question asked to my parents. In my presence, I mean. Nope. We always got one idiot. Come on, why you hate Kamala? What the fuck kind of question is that? Are you listening? Are you listening, brother? Are you listening? Are you listening? Are you listening? Are you listening? Do you guys listen, or do you just come in with predetermined ideas of what everything should be and then be like, what are you hating? Who the fuck talking about hate? What kind of question is that? You have a woman that's running as a black, running on Blackness, but this is how she talks when you're not around. And you ask me, do I hate? Snap into it. Snap into it. Jump in the game. Get your head in the game, nigga. Come on. Yeah, I remember that, Hakeem. Many of her said she was black to get into medical school. Yep. If your mindset is on why you hating, snap into it, bruh. Wake up. Wake the fuck up. We talking turkey here. God damn it, pay attention.
Wow.
By herself.
No way. Wow.
My grandfather was very progressive, and she wanted to study science.
My mother's father was the same way.
And you know, this is the thing that's really interesting, because people have these stereotypes and actually misconceptions about who Indians are. I mean, at least I can speak about my own experience, and you have a similar experience, sounds like.
She's speaking from her own experience comfortably about who Indians are. Notice how relaxed Kamala is. She's not tight. She don't have that big goofy ass smile.
Where, you know, my grandfather was very progressive. Like, his daughter wanted to go and do that, and he was like, go ahead.
I think this is done.
I think so, too.
And I think that we can move on to dosa.
Okay.
Here's my pre-made dosa mix that thousands of Indian women around the world are gasping that I'm using. I'm just gonna put some oil in the pan.
Okay.
Now, would your family, would they do the thing where they took the paper towel and spread it around, or did they just leave it like this?
Yeah.
I just want to let you know that I'm really stressed about doing this since you're...
Okay, can I just tell you, I'm in awe that this is happening at all in a real kitchen in front of me. Look at how gorgeous that is. You're doing such a great job.
So I think the key to dosa is very simple.
What is dosa?
Which is a lot of oil.
I've never heard of dosa in my life. And she's cooking it.
So what I do is put a little bit of oil in the holes to make it like crispy.
Oh, that's smart.
My dad kind of always did this.
Hi! This is your father?
This is my dad, Abu.
Hi,
Dad, this is Senator Harris.
How are you? It's so good to meet you.
Thank you for coming.
My grandparents lived in Bessenecker.
Yeah, actually,
they were in...
My grandparents live in Bessenecker. Okay, where's Bessenecker? Okay, Bessenecker. So our grandparents lived here. So this is where her grandparents lived. Okay. Okay, so this is where she lived. Tamil Nadu, okay. So this is where her grandparents lived. Okay. Let's put that next to this map. So where she was, below 100 million. So where she was in India was very, 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 very sparsely populated over here, grandparents. So this is where her grandparents live. Okay, this is getting a map. Black Americans. Do your grandparents live in Bessenecker? Or where the fuck? Do your grandparents live in the Bay of Bengal? Have your grandparents ever been to the Bay of Bengal?
Family lives there.
Yes, I would go and take a walk on the morning on the beach with my grandfather.
Yeah.
Dad, do you know that her family keeps spices in Taster's Choice
We
bottles?
would keep the same in Taster's Choice bottles. Why is it that you guys keep these things in Taster's Choice? I never asked, but my mother drank Taster's Choice coffee every morning, so I guess, and we recycle everything, of course.
Wait, Senator Harris, what do you think of this dose? I think it's done?
That's really good.
I think it's going to be pretty good.
You see?
It's very nice.
Thank you. I was nervous cooking in front of you.
But you shouldn't be. You're such a good cook.
Okay. Thank you.
Very good.
Maybe when you're in the
Look
White
at
House,
how
I can come and
relaxed
cook
she
you a
is.
meal.
She knows
Thank
how
you so
to
much
roll
for
that
cooking
shit.
in my home with me.
I'm so glad to be with you.
I'm so honored and excited to vote for you.
So that's how relaxed she is around Indians. Let's juxtapose that to how she prepares her collard greens. And salute to T Dynamite. This from her page. let's contrast that. This from your page, Butter Love. Cause I was looking for that video, and then Larry was like, "Man, Tierra posted it." I was like, "Okay." I went to your page and like, here we go. So look at this. Let's contrast how comfortable she was in with India with nigga time.
Right, Marlon. So I know how to make a mean pot of greens. In fact, people used to ask me to make greens for them for Christmas. One year, I had so many that I had to wash that we ended up washing them in the bathtub. So I am not playing around.
First off, what kind of jive talk is this?
Right, Marlon. So I know how to make a mean pot of greens. In fact, people used to ask me.
Did she just say mean pot of greens? What else is she gonna say next? You jive sucker. I made myself a mean pot of greens and I'm gonna sit back and I'm never gonna lean. What's she gonna say next? Yo, Jack, this pot of greens take me way back into the sack. The fuck? I make a mean. Cultural nuance. Cultural nuances. We breaking this down. Cultural nuance. Cultural nuance. Like this part right here. Cultural nuance.
Yeah, I've never made doses.
Just look at this.
Oh, hi! I love that you're coming to the kitchen already. You live here.
Coming to the kitchen. That's
This is so nice. Are you
Right
stressed
here.
for making Indian food?
Oh my God, you do have to taste just. Oh my, you have no idea. This is how my mother kept all of her stuff.
This is so.
Cultural nuance. Oh my God, this is how my mother takes. You see, she's walking into an Indian woman's home, and that Indian woman, according to Kamala, stores her food the same way Kamala's mother stores that food.
You do have to taste just. Oh my, you have no idea. This is how my mother kept all of her stuff.
This is.
Let's look at that cultural nuance, juxtapose this cultural nuance.
To make greens for them for Christmas. One year, I had so many that I had to wash that we ended up washing them in the bathtub.
Black people. Let me go full screen for this. This hoe right here. Kamala, you think we hoes? Black people don't wash their greens in the tub. Cultural nuance. Black people don't go to the bathroom with food, nothing. Black people are very sanitary. We don't go to the bathroom with any. Black people will not even walk past the bathroom with food. We man, close that door, man. I don't want the air residue from the shit that I dropped, from that load that I dropped 2 hours ago to get on this sandwich in my hand. We don't even do that. Black people will never take no kind of food into no fucking bathroom. That's what I mean by disrespect. Just be you, Kamala. Just, if you want my vote, give me some policy to vote for. You're trying to get me to vote based off blackness, and you're saying that you, what? That's some whole shit. We would never put no greens in a tub. Black people don't let cats and dogs walk in the kitchen. Dogs and pets are not allowed in the kitchen when Big Mama cooking. Matter of fact, no little dirty hands ass kids are allowed in the kitchen. Kids ain't, in Black America, kids ain't even allowed in the kitchen when the greens are out on the stove unless you help wash. And you washing in the fucking sink. And you better Bleach that fucking sink out before you wash them. And black folks, when they wash out in the sink, that sink is getting bleached or pine salt, whatever I don't, not pine salt, but it's getting bleached. The Clorox spray, Lysol, it's getting, all that shit's getting cleaned to the teeth. Rinsed real good so there ain't no residue from any of that cleaning agent. You're gonna rinse it real good too. It ain't gonna be no fucking in no goddamn tub. Cultural nuance. Cultural nuance. Cultural nuance. Juxtapose. You want to know what somebody is? Pay attention to the nuances.
So I am not playing around. So what you got, Marlon? So I know how to make a mean pot of greens. In fact, people used to ask me to make greens for them for Christmas.
Who asked you to make greens? Black folks make their own fucking greens.
Year, I had so many that I had to wash that we ended up washing them in the bathtub. So I have
that cultural nuance versus this cultural nuance.
Oh my God, you two have to taste just, oh my, you have no idea. This is how my mother kept all of her stuff.
This is so funny. I told my dad, I was like bringing over the stuff from the store. He's like, obviously I put them in Taster's Choice.
But this literally was how my mother.
Nigga said rinse that sink 3 times. You damn right. Rinse that sink 3 times. And this is why this is so important. Let me get to the super. I got some super chats. Let me see. I got some new super chats. He said about kick her out. I know what that was about. You say name says as an Asian man who identifies as a black woman. You're an Asian man who identifies as a black woman? Huh? Thank you for the money, but yeah. All right, yeah. Vote. Hey, I never tell people who not to vote for. Vote for who you want to vote for. And Jay said, Trump's voice, she's disgusting. Yeah, she is disgusting, but I don't tell people who to vote for. I throw it out there. You vote for whoever the hell you want to vote for. But let's juxtapose that to, look at this. So when she wants the black vote, she does this though.
Now I know my ladies in the crowd love their body. Real hot girl.
Look at this. This is when she wants the black vote.
And if you want to keep loving your body, you know who to vote for. You know Lil Ju. Hey. Hey.
So she, when it's gonna come to black folks, is party time. It's like my man Quavo said, you don't even listen to Quavo. And Quavo, that ain't even Quavo's, this part right here.
Donald Trump, on the other hand, has been talking a big game about securing our border, but he does not walk the walk. Or as my friend Quavo would say, he does not walk it like he talks it.
Walk it like you talk it, that's old school black American talk. Your niggas' great-grandparents were saying that. You wouldn't have to quote Quavo if you was truly our culture. Any black American over the age of 30 been hearing walk it like you talk it since they was kids.
All right.
So that's how shit is with us. She quotes rappers when it comes to us. See the difference? You got to know when you're being played. But Vivek Ramsey says something very interesting, and his opinion, to me, his opinion means a lot because he's also from the south of India. And listen to what he said on Fox News. This is very interesting.
Vivek, I want to give you a chance to react to that. No doubt it's going to get attention. It already is.
Yeah, so look.
This is his reaction to what Donald Trump said earlier.
Personal level, my parents were immigrants to this country, legal immigrants from southern India. Very same part of India that her mother also immigrated from. I think it's a hard fact, Martha, it's just a fact, whether you like it or not, that many Indian Americans in the United States are indeed somewhat offended by the way Kamala has suddenly cast aside the Indian American side of her identity. She leaned into it when she ran for office in California. Big Asian American and Indian American population. So she wore that when it was convenient. She's wearing a different identity now when it's politically convenient on a national stage. Personally, I don't think we should be relying on these ethnic identities at all.
I agree with that. We should, in a political race where resources are up for grab. That's what our election is about. It's about resources. It's about the collection of resources. Who gets what from your taxes in the government. That's what elections are about. Who gets what resources? She's playing a race game. It shouldn't even be about race. It should be about resources. But she's not making it about resources because she has no agenda. She's making it about race. That's why it's about race.
We're actually American. And the problem is when you're Kamala Harris and you actually do lean into your identity politics, then you open the door to that type of criticism. But if you ask me, that shouldn't be how this election is decided one way or another. It should be decided on our own identity as Americans and what our vision is for the future of the country. And the number one thing missing in Kamala Harris's candidacy is that she lacks that vision for the country. That's what we got to focus on.
Okay. Very interesting to hear from you and to hear your...
That was some real talk. She has no vision. And so, you know, it's good to use the other party to bop your party upside the head with. I'm independent, but the Democrats are the ones that keep begging me for a fucking vote. So I personally believe in playing both sides against each other. Do I believe that Trump is on our side or Vivek Ramsey? Hell nah. They're pandering like everybody else. But as a voter, as a constituent, it's good to use their pandering and bop them upside the head with the other side, because what this is going to force Kamala to do is to go deeper in her substance. That's what it's going to do. It's going to force her to go deeper into substance. And she has no substance. Somebody said, nigga, you a Trump lover. Yeah, I am a house nigga. I was in your mama's house the other night after you left because you had to go to work, you know, and at your part-time job, and you stay home with your mama. So I am a house nigga. I was in your mama's house when you went to work, and she got on her knees in front, and I sat my asshole naked on your pillow on your bed. We sat on your bed, and your mama had her knees on right where this dude, what's your name, Chevy C94, right where you put your house shoes on when you get out of bed. So we had to move your house shoes to the side so your mama's knees can get there. And I sat on your bed and I made sure to put my bare asshole on your pillow. All right. So you're right. I am a house nigga. I'm in your house getting my balls licked dry by your mama. You dig? So anyway, back to what we talking about. See, that's the thing. These people think that, oh, you're like Trump. No, okay, yeah, whatever. You want to say that, that's fine. Okay. You're ignorant when it comes to policy. How about that? You're ignorant when it comes to policy. I'd rather you say I like a particular politician because I know what's true and what's not true, but I do know one thing is, I know one thing that's true. Whether you agree with my political choice or not, you better fucking damn well know that I know my politics and I know how political science works. That's one thing we can all agree on. You can disagree over who I choose to vote for or choose not to vote for, but you can't disagree that I know my shit. And that we cannot disagree that your mama know exactly when to make me come too. We can't disagree on that. Dude in the chat room, your mama good. She be like, nigga, I'm gonna suck these balls for 37 seconds and that's all it's gonna take. And she be right on the money. Last time it took 36. She beat her record by a second. You don't talk shit to me, nigga. You better sit the fuck up down and listen. I appreciate the Cash App, the Terrence Brown. Appreciate the Cash App. And y'all hit the Cash App, $ Dewan Brown. $ Dewan Brown. Somebody said, not Big Jaw. Big Jaw, that's my nigga right there. Hey, last night, hey, you know how good I felt last night? Hey, dog, let me look quick quick segue. Y'all brought up Big John. I'm glad you brought up Big John in the chat. Cause we took a picture together last night at this comedy show I was at. And let me tell y'all something, man. Let me show y'all. Let me. Y'all want to see somebody? Yeah, remember I told you I've been working with kids forever. This is one of my kids I worked with back in the day. Let me put it. Oh shit! Come on now. This is a picture I took last night. This is one of my kids I worked with. I started working with him when he was like a kid. He's a grown ass adult now, and he's a photographer. My man Malik. And this is I spent 2 years working with this young man. Spent a lot of my life sewing into this cat, and he's a photographer now. And he's about to go to grad school out in Howard. So my people in DC, y'all gonna have to look out for my little nigga when he go to DC for graduate school. Well, anyway, he took this picture right here. Y'all see this picture? He took this picture last night. Me, Big John, and Ken Edwin. Y'all see it? Yeah, that's my nigga right there. Do y'all know how good it feels to spend your life working with kids? And like, cause everything don't turn out optimal. You know, sometimes you work with some kids, you get some bad news. You know, things didn't turn out, and you still love them. But when you started with one when this little nigga was 11 and wouldn't shut the fuck up in class, so they called me, to now he's on the way to graduate school to get a master's degree. And look at that picture. That's a dope ass picture he took. That's a dope ass picture he took of us last night. So man, I'm a big fan, Malik, man. I'm proud of you, young man. I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that little nigga right there. Shit. I told y'all about my last job, how they had my head all fucked up. So it feels good to get these good stories, you know? To see a story of a win. And that young man won. He went in. So that felt real good. You know what I mean? That felt real good. Yeah. But that's where we at with it right now. But anyway, back to what we talking about, man. I'm gonna turn this fan up so it's about to get hot. So Donald Trump, and here's another thing about it. That whole thing, Donald Trump showed up to the Black Writers Convention. Kamala was invited, but she didn't show up. This was very interesting. Watch this part right here. When Trump says about the convention.
Some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama.
The sound isn't as good with this one, so I'm gonna need y'all turn your sound up. The sound isn't as good with this one, but so turn your sound up, all right?
In the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabbit to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. And I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country, including employment, including opportunity zones with Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, which is one of the greatest programs ever for black workers and black entrepreneurs. I've done so much, and you know, and I say this, historically black colleges and universities were out of money. They were stone cold broke, and I saved them, and I gave them long-term financing, and nobody else was doing it.
That right there was some real shit. He did give the HBCUs long-term financing, whether you like them or not. He did that.
I think it's a very rude introduction. I don't know exactly why you would do something like that. And let me go a step further. I was invited here, and I was told my opponent, whether it was Biden or Kamala, I was told my opponent was going to be here. It turned out my opponent isn't here. You invited me under false pretense. And then
so, of course, Trump is full of shit. He gonna add the extras on top. You invited me under false pretense. That's whatever. But was Kamala Harris invited, and why didn't she come? Why would Kamala Harris not come to the National Black Journalists Convention? If this is a convention for black journalists, why would she not be there to answer their questions if she was invited?
Then you said you can't do it with Zoom. Well, where's Zoom? She's going to do it with Zoom, and she's not coming. And then you were half an hour late, just so we understand. I have too much respect for you to be late. They couldn't get their equipment working, or something was wrong.
I would love
I think
you
it's
to
a
answer the
very
question
nasty
on your
question.
rhetoric and why you
I have answered the question. I have been the best president.
So I want to say that part about. I just wanted to play that part about Kamala being invited and not showing up. Great show. Appreciate the super chat. Appreciate the super chat. Yeah, hit the super chat, y'all. I mean, hit the Cash App. We got over 600 here on YouTube. We need to get the likes up over 600. We got 361 likes. Oh, I only got one dislike to 361 likes. I need to get these likes. We got over 600 in here, so we need 600 likes on this page right now. We got over another 400 over on YouTube, so we got over 1,000 people watching between Twitter, Rumble, and YouTube. Make sure whatever platform you're on, hit the like button, retweet button, whatever the fuck button that promotes this show. Hit. So, and I want to look at this tweet right here. I'll go back. This was from some writer for the National Black Convention. She says she has decided to step down as co-chair from this year's convention in Chicago to the journalist, because of Trump. Now it says on her profile that she is Ghanaian. That matters because it matters to her. Anybody asking me, okay, why does it matter that she's Ghanaian? She's still black. It matters that she's Ghanaian because she says she's Ghanaian. That's her way of saying, okay, I'm a little bit different. So let's acknowledge her difference, because if she didn't say it, I wouldn't bring it up, but she said it. Look, Miss Karen, we speak to our enemies here in America. If you're a journalist, just because somebody's on the other political team doesn't mean it's cool that you back out. I want my black journalists speaking to people who love us, people who hate us, people who are indifferent about us, people who ain't even thinking about us. I need a journalist to be not emotionally driven by somebody else's position. And I need you to speak to them so you can ask the questions that we need to ask as a people. That's your job as a journalist. You don't not speak to people because you don't agree with them. And now, if you're a regular person, if you're a civilian, then hell, don't speak to nobody. You ain't civilians. Civilians go by different rules. Hey, if you're a civilian, if you don't feel like talking, don't talk. But if you're a journalist, we need our journalists speaking to these people like Trump so they can ask the right questions. I wasn't mad at that woman's question when she asked Donald Trump about the whole DEI hire thing, and if you ask me, like, that was a good question that she asked him about the whole DEI hire thing. Let me go further into it. His DEI part.
For you to start off a question and
to stop it.
How do you define?
Some of your own supporters, including Republicans on Capitol Hill, have laid labeled Vice President Kamala Harris, who is the first Black and Asian American woman to serve as vice president and be on a major party ticket, as a DEI hire. Is that acceptable language to you? And will you tell those Republicans and those supporters to stop it?
How do you?
Well, that's kind of, it's a good question. It's a good question and a bad question. It's a good question to see where Trump's mindset is. That's what it's a good question, to see where his mind stands. Bad question on the side of, who gives a fuck what they say? God damn, black people, we don't give a fuck. Look, policy. They racist as fuck whether they say it or not. When they say, matter of fact, I like when they say shit like, oh, that's a DEI hire. They're telling you how they feel about when somebody that isn't white gets something. You should encourage them to talk like that so you know who the fuck you listening to. All this emotional, if you don't like us. But on the other hand, if you want to understand, for the people who do want to understand where he is mentally, I get it. That's not a good question to me, but it is a good question because there are people out there who do want to know where he. That's why we need black journalists. A white journalist isn't going to ask questions like these in specific. So I'll give her 50-50 score on that, you know?
How do you define DEI? Go ahead. How do you define
diversity, equity, and inclusion?
Okay.
So that's where we at with it. Trump exposes Kamala Harris. Now, let me do this. Let's all go back to the first video and why we got this. Let's go back to the beginning and why we're having this discussion right here.
I just defined it, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman?
Well, I can say no. I think it's maybe a little bit different. So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much. And she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has always
but
identified as a black woman.
I
She went to a
respect either
historically black
one.
college.
I respect either one, but she.
He's basically, and that right there is a shot. Like she plays race. These look at the journalists. The journalists are asking questions about race, not about policy. Y'all want to call in? 323-744-7425. Oh, my nigga said in the chat. I just looked down at the chat right at the right time. The nigga said Bronny is a DEI hire. Y'all follow said, that's one of my comedian homeboys out of the Bay Area. I gotta say more than comedy homie. He's just a good dude, you know what I mean? This motherfucker said Bronny is a DEI. Yeah, Bronny is a DEI hire. Diversity. Diversify the NBA niggas who deserve to be there and those who don't. That nigga was definitely included on my Lakers. And why the fuck he come to the Lakers? That's a different subject. That's a different subject. Let me calm down. Say it. We ain't talking basketball right now, dog. You about to get me fucking started. I want my Lakers back. What the fuck is going on? Get LeBron James out of here. Like, oh my God. I'm over here watching this basketball tournament on Fox Sports 1 and going to the Drew League on the weekends to get my basketball fix. Because this fucking LeBron James done fucked my Lakers up, boy. Stay on topic, nigga. Goddamn. Somebody asked the stupid questions. Why did you stop the video? Why didn't you play the whole interview? Because I'm talking, dumbass. If you want to watch the whole fucking interview, go watch it. Nigga, does the title say Dewan replays whole interview from Trump and the... No. God damn. Stay focused. Focus. Marcia said, I think Kamala's a bitch. Well, I'm not going to argue with you. That's right, Misha. Make my Lakers great again. Shit, Lakers ain't shit right now. All we get right now is watching. Only thing we get right now in Lakerland is watching LeBron James pass stats for his own personal gain, not giving a fuck about winning for the team. The only thing we got right now is Lakers. Damn it. Why would the Lakers trade their best player? Without Anthony Davis, remember LeBron James came a year before Anthony Davis, and he only improved the team by 1 win, and he missed the playoffs. Never forget 2018. LeBron said she was act like 2018 didn't happen. Like when LeBron came by himself and Brandon Ingram and the rest of those guys were on the team, they act like LeBron James made them better. They only improved by 1 win and still missed the playoffs. So, yeah, India's been in Jamaica for over 170 years. A lot of Indian Jamaicans. That's a good point, Bismarck T. Different culture. All skin folk and your kinfolk. Actually insulting to judge someone based on their skin tone. Actually, for you Kamala supporters, this thing about the shit, Kamala supporters that's doing the supporting based on race, you guys are actually racist because it is not fair to prejudge somebody based on the color of their skin. You judge people on the content of their character. You thought Dr. King was just playing? You judge people on their action and their deeds, not by their skin. And when it comes to race, you don't look at a person's skin. You look at their culture. You listen to them talk about their own parents and their upbringing. And you ascribe that, their words, to their upbringing, to their culture. And Kamala obviously grew up in Indian culture because, like she said in this video, she stored her seasoning in coffee glasses and shit like that. Talked about going on a beach in India. Have you ever been on a beach in India, nigga? No. Hell, yo black ass live in America. You live in goddamn South Carolina, and you never even been to goddamn Myrtle Beach up in Virginia. And she talked about going to the beach in the fucking Bay of Bengal in India. And you over here, your ass ain't never been to South Beach. How you gonna say y'all the same culture? You from the United States of America. And you ain't been to South Beach. You ain't been to Venice Beach. Motherfucker, you ain't been to Pismo Beach. You ain't been to Myrtle Beach. You ain't been to the Inkwell. You ain't been to none of that. And she over here talking about going to the beach over at the Bay of Bengal. You're not the same. Different cultural experiences lead to different conclusions. Culture dictates the conclusions ones draw. And India and Jamaica, they both have a very anti-black culture, anti-dark-skinned people. That comes from the culture in India and the culture in Jamaica. So when you say she's Jamaican, what part of Jamaica you talk about? Because they got Indians and people from all other races up in Jamaica too, like her father. That motherfucker, her dad does not look like Lee Scratch Perry. It's a big difference. Donald Harris. This is her dad. Right here. This is her dad right here, Donald Harris. And this is Lee Scratch Perry. See, that'd be the thing. You motherfuckers be going around talking about something he Jamaican. See when y'all that use that Jamaican trope on Kamala, y'all that I don't have it up here. Let me see here. I'm bumping the pictures up. This is Lee Scratch Perry, and this is Donald Harris. See, this be the thing. Y'all be like, oh, Kamala's Jamaican. But when y'all calling her Jamaican, y'all picturing Lee Scratch Perry. But then we look at her dad. Her dad look like an economist. Her dad look like one of two things. Either he's an economist or he owns a gas station. That's what her dad looked like. Nigga, there's no in between. On the high end, he's an economist, but if he ain't as successful as his brothers and other people, he'll become a gas station owner. That's what he look like. You dig what I'm saying? Y'all be going over here talking about something she black, you know, as if she's black in a Lee Scratch Perry sort of manner. No, she not. No, she not. So, again, the reason why we're talking about Kamala based on race is because Kamala's running the race based on race. She's not running it on policy. She's not running it on promising us anything, offering us anything. She's saying, vote for me because I'm black. All right, cool. Let me test your blackness. And that test comes back a fail. Your black credit score is a 350. I'm only approving black credit scores 720 and up. If you don't have a 720 FICO on your blackness, then you ain't. Yep, and I'm playing. Yep, I'm saying that. Yep, I said it. Yep, I said it. Yep, she ain't black enough. Yep, even with Jamaican father, nope, she ain't black enough. Nope. She ain't black enough. And y'all, and you a goddamn idiot if you think black people are the only ones that play this game. White people are the main ones that play this game. Do you understand that in the election of 1960, the primary thing that held back John F. Kennedy was because of his Irish heritage? They weren't saying John F. Kennedy, oh, he's white like the rest of us. They were saying, this motherfucker's Irish. Get them the fuck away from us. What's up, Vic the Villain? In the super chat, Vic says, I read about Cam Cooper and how Kamala and Jerry Brown, yeah, Cam Cooper, yeah. They railroaded that man. But in the 1960 election, the propaganda was real heavy on his Irish Catholic upbringing. That mattered. That mattered because to white society, that made him not white enough, because in America, true whiteness is Anglo-Saxon, Protestant, landowning. The further you get from white Anglo-Saxon, Protestant, the less white you are in white America. And when John F. Kennedy ran, being the first Irish Catholic, that was something that not even white America could have foreseen 20 years prior. Every group plays these games in nuances because the deeper you are within a culture, the more we know what to expect and not expect from you, good, bad, or indifferent. When you're from the soil, we at least know the boundaries of your coonery, you know, versus if you're from somewhere else. If you're somewhere else, you know, your coonery may have another level of boundaries, like going back to, you know, it's just different levels of boundaries. I mean, so you got to know that stuff. And it's very important. And it's very important that you acknowledge people for who they say they are. And if you want to know more about who a person is, further than what they say they are, pay attention to the cultural nuances. All right? Yeah, Jamaica owns. They own slaves in Jamaica. You damn right. Yeah, we got some. I got another Cash App. Appreciate the Cash App, Ronald. And then Atarius Brown Cash App. I appreciate the Cash App. That was 20 minutes ago. My bad. Oh, I got a few Cash Apps. James Smith. Appreciate the Cash App. Appreciate the Cash App, James. Okay, Brandon, appreciate the Cash App. Appreciate the Cash App. Yeah, we here. We here. And you can make sure y'all watch and hit the Cash App if you're watching later on. All right? I was going to talk about something different today, but we got to talk about this shit. That Trump video was funny as hell. All right? But we'll be back at it. Tomorrow I'm actually filming the next installment of my documentary, so I won't see y'all tomorrow on here on YouTube. Only you're gonna see some clips. So you won't see me tomorrow because I'm recording my man Jarris Mosey, J-Mo, on guitar for my next episode of my documentary, and my man Kenneth Crouch. We record some for real musicians, the people behind a lot of the sound that you know. That's going up tomorrow. And for those of you on Patreon, you'll get some behind the scenes interviews from that tomorrow, all right? I thank y'all for listening, and make sure we be open-minded, make sure we still love each other. It doesn't matter. I know I talk a lot of shit, crack jokes, but I still love everybody, that loves them. I love people who love themselves, you know what I mean, have respect for themselves and respect for me. And we can have political differences. I don't care. If you're voting for Kamala, that's fine. I don't give a fuck. You voting for Trump, that's fine. I don't give a fuck. I ain't voting for neither one. I'm watching this shit as a play. I'm having a good time. I'm cracking jokes. I'm laughing. I'm watching this shit the same way I watch when the Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock in WWF wrestling, nigga. Macho Man versus Hulk Hogan. This is what the fuck I'm doing. This is like watching the Lakers. This is like watching the Housewives of Atlanta, and Kamala is Portia returning to the show this year. I love that goddamn show. That show funny to the motherfucker. I am observing a train wreck, and that's a play that's disguised as politics. I'm having a good fucking time, all right? So I'm not bound by none of this bullshit. A lot of y'all are bound by it. But if you're bound by it, that's your journey in life. You're playing out your cards, and I'm playing out my cards. And my cards understands that this is all a fucking play. But while it's a play, let's have a good time watching it, talking shit about it. But let's still be able to have a civil conversation amongst each other, because, whatever happens politically, your politics, fuck your politics. Your politics ain't that serious anyway. People take their politics real serious. Let me tell you from my heart, fuck you and your politics from me, with love. But I don't give a fuck about your politics. I care about you as a person. Who are you as a human, as a man, as a woman? Who are you? What's your character? Are you who you say you are? Do you do what you say you're gonna do? Do you say I'm gonna do something and then follow through with it? That's what I care about. I don't give a fuck if that comes from a Republican body or a Democrat body. If you're a Christian, I don't fuck with Christianity no more, but I still respect and got love for you. And I just say be the best Christian you can be, because there's a lot of dope shit within Christian society. If you're a Hindu, if you're a Muslim, Hebrew Israelite, salute to the Hebrew Israelites out there. Every time y'all say, read, that shit funny than a motherfucker. And the way y'all always got the nigga on the Bible that can't read. So I'm gonna crack jokes about y'all, but I still love y'all. You know what I mean? You Muslim, whatever the fuck you are, man, be that. But at the same time, I reserve the right to talk shit about it. Just like you reserve the right to talk shit about whatever I get down. That's fine. All right? Don't fall out with real life people over superficial bullshit. All right? Thank you again for listening. Remember, there are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. I'm out.